What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Raymond Chaka Forever. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I'm back with another video. Before I get into that video, I want to remind everyone that I leave a link to a different playlist in every description box. Take a moment to click on those links, run the views up, run the thumbs up, run the comments up, and if you feel the need to share the playlist, feel free to share the playlist. If you like my channel and find my content helpful, take a moment to subscribe and turn on post notifications. That way YouTube will notify you every time I upload a video. Today I'm back with another video. Today I'm sharing my thoughts on SNAP benefits could be cut off for 42 million Americans. I haven't came with an exact title, but I think it would be, I think I'm going to run with November SNAP benefits cut off. November SNAP benefits cut off. First, before I get into my reaction, share my thoughts on, I want to read the article first. No EBT in November. SNAP benefits could be cut off for 42 million Americans. 42 million Americans. Let's read this whole, oh, that's a big article. Millions of Americans who depend on SNAP are bracing for what could be one of the most critical food assistance crises in recent history. The ongoing government shutdown has created a funding freeze that could stop EBT benefits as early as next month. According to a letter obtained by ABC News, Ronald Ward, the acting head of SNAP, told state officials that the program only has enough funding to cover October. He warned that if the shutdown continues, there would be insignificant funds to pay full November benefits, SNAP benefits, for approximately 42 million individuals across the nation. The warning comes as federal agencies continue to operate without a budget, leaving programs like SNAP and WIC in limbo. The USDA has advised states to hold off on sending files to EBT vendors, the companies that distribute food benefits electronically. Without those transmissions, November's funds can't be loaded onto recipients' cards. States are already sounding the alarm. Colorado officials announced they can't issue November benefits until federal funding is restored. In Florida, officials say benefits are safe for October but are preparing for potential interruptions if lawmakers don't reach a deal soon. North Carolina and Illinois have echoed similar concerns, warning residents that their cards may not reload in November if the shutdown persists. The states couldn't be higher. SNAP currently supports around 42 million Americans, many of whom rely on it for their only source of groceries. Now, me personally, I feel this is something, I feel that Trump got a lot to do with it because this is up his alley. He's want to get rid of all state assistance, HUD, food stamps, Medicaid, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So, this is a win-win for him. Because if the government stays shut down, that would give him reason to get rid of all state benefits, without going through the office, without getting approved. So this work out good for Trump either way we look at it. So basically he's behind it. He's basically behind this another way he can get everything that he's out to do done without getting approved through the office, through the upper heads. If that makes sense to you guys, like it makes sense to me. I try to tell myself, because I do get SNAP, I do get food stamps for the next 6 months, that I try to tell myself with others that, they could be cut off. Could. Key word is could. I don't mean for certain it will be cut off, but there's a possibility that it will get cut off. Hopefully, if it do get cut off, that they'll make all that up. Let's say it get cut off for 60 days. That'll give you, they will load 60 days of food stamps on people's cards when they do come to agreement. There are already videos going around of people saying they gonna go to Walmart and all these different grocery stores and steal, or they go to all these different grocery stores, go through the checkout line, swipe the EBT card. When it say decline, they gonna head out the store, and if anybody try to stop them, they gonna have a man right there ready to fight them. If they make it to the parking lot with them, that's when they're gonna escalate to a bigger problem. So this could bring a lot of issues to the table, because as they said, yes, a lot of people do depend on food stamps for their only source of providing for their family, providing food for their family. So this could turn into a good and a bad thing. You know what I mean? This could turn into a lot of fights, a lot of criminal activity getting done behind that having food stamps. You know what I mean? Because there's people out there in this world that's willing to risk their life just to put food on the table. And me, I used to be one of those adults, one of those parents that would literally risk my life to put food in my kids' mouth. You know, and there's people in the world that's just like that they don't mind themselves going hungry, but their kids going hungry. A lot of Americans not gonna go for that. You know what I mean? And I hope America's ready to embrace themselves for the outcome of this. You know what I mean? Of the outcome of this, because this could lead to a very bad outcome for retailers and the people that get food stamps. You know what I mean? I was gonna do a live on this, but because of my work schedule and everything, I put the live on hold. But I just hope that everybody think reasonable with it and get out here and take advantage of the options. If you're in a position where you can pick up a second job to help keep food on the table, I would suggest do it. If you're in a predicament where you can get all the overtime you want on your job, I would suggest you take advantage of that overtime. That way, that make up for the loss of food stamps. You know, if there's any ways you can pinch money, like cut unneeded spending, all that need to be on hold for a while. If you're in a predicament where you can put unneeded spending on hold, I would say put it on hold in order to keep food on the table. What I'm saying is there's a lot of options that us Americans can take on a daily basis to help us still maintain and keep our head above water and keep food on the table at the same time. Because I know for myself and a lot of other Americans, there's a lot of ways that we spend money unneeded today where we can put that money to good use towards keeping food on the table. You know what I mean? I hope the government come to agreement in due time, like yesterday come to agreement. You know what I mean? Me personally, I don't see how they can go home tonight knowing that the military and 42 million Americans is about to lose food stamps. Won't have a way to keep food on the table while they go home to their mansions, they six-figure income. These are the ones that assume that everyone making six-figure like they're making six-figure. No, we don't live in that kind of world where we all in the same class. We have high class, middle class, and lower class people in this world that really do depend on SNAP benefits. That really do depend on these benefits, and now to know they about to get cut off, that's very shocking and stressful to know. You know, especially with jobs not really paying like they should. You know, some people will be willing to get a second job in order to keep food on the table, but with what these jobs paying, some jobs paying $13, $14, $15 an hour. Like they already said in some of the articles, working two full-time jobs, still not enough money to afford a one-bedroom apartment. That's sad to know. That's very sad to know that working two full-time jobs still not enough to afford a one-bedroom apartment. That's very disgusting to know, in my opinion, if we speak honestly, you know. But I hope we all figure out how to keep food on the table, even if you got to save some of your steps from October. You know, for the ones that get them big totals, in food stamps, if you got to pinch a penny, hey, pinch a penny. Pinch a penny by all means necessary. That means if you get $800 a month, and you know that's more than enough for you to feed you and 3 kids, then only spend half. That way you still got half for November. You know, it's some of the options that we can choose before turning to breaking the law in order to keep food on the table. I would suggest take advantage of all of them. Take advantage of every option that you can possibly come up with. You know, that's just my opinion. What I would do if I was in that situation and really, really, really need the food stamps to help keep food on the table for my kids, yeah, I would definitely be open to all possibilities to bring in extra income. In order to keep food on the table for my kids. That's just me and my opinion as a parent. You know, I do want to share my thoughts on that and get y'all opinion and views on it as well. For my shout out video the last Sunday in November, y'all tell me in the comments how you feel about this. And I will give you my shout out video the last Sunday in November. If you like my thoughts on this situation, Take a moment to subscribe and turn on post bell notifications. That way YouTube will notify you every time I upload a video. I do leave a link to a different playlist in every description box. Take a moment to click on those links, run the views up, run the thumbs up, run the comments up. And if you feel the need to share the playlist, feel free to share the playlist. If you like my channel and find my content helpful, take a moment to subscribe and turn on post bell notifications. That way YouTube will notify you every time I upload a new video. You know, November SNAP benefits cut off. November SNAP benefits cut off.